Hello everyone and welcome back to Fate's Day Night. Previously, Saber and Shirou had dreams about each other's past. Saber learned about Shirou's traumatic event with that fire that took his parents from him. And Shirou saw, pretty much the whole genesis of Saber's origin from the moment she plucked that sword from the stone to her last battle, where she fell in combat. But at the end of the day, they realize that they're more like each other than they first thought, and Saber in particular has become frightened for Shirou. She doesn't want Shirou to follow her path because she sees a lot of him in her, and vice versa. So this time, it looks like a new day has dawned, and with it comes potential. Anything could happen, so I'm very excited to see what will happen. Let's hop in. The 13th day, huh? I wake up to the sound of the rain. It's morning. I hold my shaking head and get my body up. It's not 6 yet. The sound of rain from outside isn't that loud. I rattle my teeth at the sudden headache. Rattle his teeth? Teeth aren't supposed to move when you're like a young man like him. But it only lasts for a moment. Neither the pain nor the image that pops into my head lasts long. But that scene is more than enough to wake my brain up. That dream. No, I don't even need to confirm it. That was Saber's past. It was the end of her life that happened a long time ago that cannot be changed. Before I realize it, I'm gritting my teeth. It's making a sound. Somehow, I'm really angry. I grit my teeth loudly and suppress the urge to have a fit. Damn it! What was that? Just remembering it makes me mad. Her past, her thinking nothing of it, and me thinking the dream was nothing. I don't like it. I don't know what I don't like about it, but I just don't. I hate it. I don't want that. That life was unfair, no matter how you look at it. Such a life is wrong. She only wished for others. She did not wish anything for herself in return. Calling the kettle black here. She worked so hard, but nobody knew about it. That pisses me off. That's just too unfair to her. That's right. If she worked harder than anybody else, she should be rewarded the most. She has to be rewarded for all the things she's done. But what can be done now? Can I just tell her that she did a good job? Praise her that she was great? Of course not. Such easy words won't fix anything. I know. There is only one answer. Use the Holy Grail? That's right. If she is to be rewarded, her life must be repaid. That girl called Arturia has to become happy in proportion to how much she has fought. But what can I do? My train of thought stops there. I don't know how to make people happy. That makes me realize my own distortions. I've been living trying to be a superhero, but all I've been doing is lending people a hand. I believed everybody around me would be happy if I helped others like that. No. I couldn't move forward with pride unless I believed that. Well, at least Shirou's realized a bit of his own hypocrisy. Maybe this here might be Shirou figuring out what he wants to wish from the Holy Grail. Like, I'm picturing some Aladdin ending where Shirou will wish for Saber to be free and can live as a human, become a real girl. I could totally see that happening, but I don't know. Speaking of wishes, I still have no idea what Saber would want to wish for either. I'm not entirely sure if she died with, like, regrets. I just don't know. Helping someone and saving someone are essentially different. I can't think of a way to reward Saber because I don't know the difference between the two. The breakfast table is the same as always. Saber and Tosaka must be adaptable as they already seem to be used to Ilya's presence. So, what are you going to do, Shirou? There are 3 masters left. It's not like the Holy Grail War can go on forever, so you should start acting. And it's pretty pitiful to always give others the initiative. Yes! Tosaka is right. My body is fine and Saber is healed. Yesterday should be the last day of rest. You're right. But even if we are to act, it'll be in the evening. We'll do the same things as always while the sun's up. Seriously? Well, I guess it doesn't do any good to walk around randomly when you don't know anything about your opponents. Then you're going to get beaten up by Saber again. That's one word to call it. Training with Saber. That's the usual task, and it's natural for a master to prepare for battle. Rin, we are training. That comment sounded unpleasant. Well, yeah. I'll get beaten up by Saber in the morning. Oh, well, yeah. I'll get beaten up by Saber in the morning, says Shirou. Shirou, you put me in a difficult position if you say that as well. Huh? Oh, sorry, Saber. I wasn't listening. I am speaking of how rudely Rin talks. Honestly, what is going on, Shirou? You do not seem well today. Breakfast is a bit smaller than usual as well. Were you in the shed until late last night? She asks, but Saber's words aren't criticizing. I can feel that Saber believes in me. That's why it's even harder to look at her now. If I do, the image of that hill pops into my head. Huh. Fine, I shall drive some energy into you later. So we will train in the dojo today as well. Is that the plan, Shirou? Yeah, please. How about you, Ilya? Me? I'll do the same as yesterday. I don't like getting wet in the rain, so I don't want to go outside. I see. That's a big help. I want you to stay in the house as much as possible. Going outside is too dangerous. Yeah, I'll consider staying with you if you cook boxed lunches like you did yesterday. It seems Ilya liked the boxed lunch yesterday. I should just say bento. We all know what bento is. I'm a bit embarrassed that she's content with such a thing, but I'm happy if she's happy. So I guess it'll be the same as yesterday. I have something to research, so I'll be in my room. Come by my room in the afternoon since I need to talk with you. Oh, thought Rin said she was pretty much done. Research? Yep. I think you've realized, but Ryudo Temple has been strange since yesterday. Oh, what happened? They've stopped the magical energy collection they've been working so hard on, so it's only natural to assume they're doing something. Uh-oh. Oh no. Well, it seems the master at the Ryudo Temple is the most troublesome one, so I'll make a familiar and try to find out what's going on inside. Then, should you not concentrate on the search? I do not think there is a need to take time off to teach Shirou. Well, that's just how it is. Sorry, but bear with me. He seems unreliable, so I can't just leave him alone. Hey! It's fine if he gets killed by the enemy, but if he dies because he messes up his magic, I'll be shamed as his teacher. That might be the most Rin thing Rin has ever said. Holy crap, I am in awe. Yes, it is just as you say, Rin. There was something wrong with me. I do not know why I would have thought your lessons were not useful for Shirou. The reason's pretty simple, but it's best not to talk about it. Then, good luck with your morning training. He's pretty tough, so it's best to beat him to within an inch of his life. Tosaka leaves the living room with an absurd comment. Okay. Saber, don't take her too seriously. She's only saying that because you've never beaten her up. I remind her, just in case. I don't know why Saber's so happy, but... Yes, I know. I know your body better than her. Oh, she replies like that. Well, okay then. What is wrong? Are you not going to eat, Ilyasville? You have not eaten a third of what you ate yesterday. No, I just can't eat this. I can't eat spicy food. I do not think it is that spicy. This spice is very good with this chicken. I don't like mustard. Just eat it for me. I'll eat your strawberries instead. They're eating They're eating mustard chicken with strawberries. Mustard chicken with okay, I'm gonna take mental damage if I think about that too much. What are you doing, Ilyasville? Hey, return that. You cannot have that. You may have the apple pie if you want something sweet. Apple pie too? Sitting next to each other, the two of them are fighting like close sisters. It's past noon. We three are eating lunch together like yesterday. Oh yeah, the lunch isn't the only thing that's the same as yesterday. The training before this was exactly like yesterday's. Uh-oh. Okay, yesterday's meant beating Shirou up until his ghost popped out. But no, I think it is about Saber trying to avoid physical contact. No, it was more awkward today. I don't know how to put it, but my heart starts beating hard when I see Saber, and I can't attack her seriously now. Saber is also acting strangely, as she never used to overlook such openings, but now she waits for me to attack, and for a while we just stared at each other. What's wrong? It's boring if you don't do anything. I renewed my spirits with that and attacked Saber, but the results were the same. After repelling my half-assed attack, she would not counter and let me go. As I wasn't attacked, I would face Saber again and charge again, but she would overlook me again. This strange time ended about 10 minutes ago. At Saber's request, we entered the lunch break, and we're eating lunch now. The menu is the same as yesterday, sandwich. But I couldn't just make the same thing as yesterday, so I elaborated on the ingredients, and it seems like they really like it. Spicy mustard chicken strawberry sandwich? Ilya is in high spirits, and Saber caught her breath, faced with the multicolored sandwiches. I'm just guessing, but I think Saber must have been getting ready. Anyways, it's much louder today than yesterday. It's raining outside and the floor is cold wood, but I think this feels like a picnic. Jeez, that is enough, Ilyasville. Your clothes will get dirty like that. That happens because you try to eat in one bite like Shirou. Your mouth is small, so you should eat more slowly. You're the one who doesn't understand. It's even more impolite to worry about manners at a lunch like this. This is a picnic, so acting like this is correct, right, Shirou? Ilya munches on the sandwich happily. Saber wipes Ilya's mouth. That tickles, Saber. It's a bit surprising. It's not just Saber, as Ilya trusts Saber more than she did yesterday. I am surprised. You do not reject me, Ilyasville. Why? I like being treated kindly. Yeah, if anyone else touches me, I'll kill them. But I'll forgive you since you're pretty. Okay. And you're someone to eat lunch with. If you like me, I like you too. Ilya says so simply. Saber looks at Ilya, dumbfounded. Ilya's smile was a surprise attack even for me, who was watching from the side. What? This isn't fun for you, Saber? Well, I'm having fun. It's raining outside, this place is too simple, and I have none of the things I wanted. But being here is fun. It's much warmer than being alone, right? But you're not having fun? She must have felt something in Ilya's smile. Saber lets out a deep sigh and stares at the white girl. You are right. Being like this is fun for me as well. Aww. A clear voice. She smiles in a way I've never seen before. Uh-oh. Doki doki. My heart feels warm for some reason. That smile was good. That smile was for herself. Not a smile from watching over someone's safety, but a smile because she is happy herself. Okay, Ilya now has one redeeming quality. She makes Saber happy. That's the one so far. Good. Shirou, why are you making that face? Did something good happen? No, it's nothing. Wait, was I making a strange face? Yeah, you were. It was like a fatherly face. Like you're watching over us from afar. I don't like faces like that. What? I don't understand what she's talking about, but does that mean I was smiling? I see. Well, something good happened, so maybe I was grinning. Something good? Yeah, I like the kind of smile you just made. I was just glad I got to see it. I do not understand. You like such a thing? Yeah, it seems I like seeing that kind of expression on you. Saber nods, still not understanding. Then, she must have realized something as she smiles and raises her head. I see. Then it is the other way around. What do you mean? I am happier if you are smiling. It is enough for me if you can keep smiling. Aww, this would be adorable if I wasn't shipping Shirou with Sakura, goddammit! My ship! It's going down. No! I can't look directly at Saber. I bet anyone would overheat if they were smiled at like that. Somehow, I calm myself down and sneak a peek at Saber. Saber has returned to eating with a calm face. There's no unease in her expression. There's nothing to worry about, but something is nagging at the back of my head. I am happier if you are smiling. Yes, with that smile I saw for the first time. She was saying something entirely contradictory. I listened to the rain in Tosaka's room. Today, we performed a fake physical examination like yesterday. I just took the medicine Tosaka prepared for me and checked the magic circuit throughout my body. I guess it really is impossible to do any more here, since it'll require a more appropriate environment. I don't care about that, but I don't want to just sit here doing nothing. She told me not to move for a while to see the results, but I bet I can still talk. Tosaka, may I? I call out to her, still meditating. Fine, what is it? It's about Saber. I don't know how I should put this, but... Saying that, I realize I haven't thought this through at all. It's not even, what can I do for Saber? I haven't even thought about what I want to do with Saber. Well, I'm just wondering what she wants to do. Come to think of it, she never did anything because she wanted to, right? So? You don't know what Saber's thinking about. No, that's not it. I just don't understand why she's so unselfish. Yeah, I don't know what to do about that. Well, you're right. The only thing she's done voluntarily is protecting you. It's only natural for a servant to do that, but it's hard to understand when it's so thorough. But that doesn't mean she's totally unselfish. Because Saber's protecting you for her own objectives. Oh, that's right. I forgot about the reason she became a servant. I see. Saber's goal is to obtain the Holy Grail, so it's not like she has no objectives. And that Holy Grail will grant the wishes of its possessor. So Saber at least has a wish she wants granted. I don't know what it is, but it's a wish she wants granted, even if it means becoming a servant. Surely the wish must be to save herself. Yeah, for example, she's here in this time, so she can stay here and live a second life with the power of the Holy Grail. No, rather, she has to go that far to make up for her sad end. Oh, then this is all so easy. Huh? You're weird, suddenly getting all energetic. Was the conversation that exciting? Yeah, it gave me energy. Yeah, she wouldn't fight so hard unless it was for that. Because Saber has to fight for her own wishes. I nod to myself. Tosaka must have been shocked by my reaction. Emiya-kun, I'm sorry to interrupt while you're so happy, but you're wrong. Saber wouldn't fight for herself. You know that too, right? Saber isn't like that. She doesn't seek the Holy Grail for her own benefit. Yeah, I thought so. The thought that Saber might be doing this just for her own ends doesn't fit. It doesn't compute. What are you basing that on? I can't finish. That's right. Her last moment was a lonely one because she had no wishes for herself. So Saber cannot be seeking her own salvation. But still, I wanted to think that, so I distorted her personality for a moment. The conversation stops. As soon as I start to think that the heavy silence will continue... It's boring, but Archer said the same things as you. Huh? Archer? You mean that Archer? Who else? Yeah, I asked him what his wish was, too. What do you think he said? It's no good asking me that. I don't know anything about him. As Archer said that we'd eventually be enemies, he made no effort to talk to me or Saber. But still, he was sarcastic a lot, but I know he wouldn't have a stupid objective. You'll laugh when you hear this. When I asked him what his wish was, he said this. How about world peace? I just burst out laughing. Wow, that Archer, what a funny guy. Then he got timid and said, I knew you would laugh. Well, there is no meaning in salvation by the deeds of others. Let's just call this a funny story. I just thought, he became a heroic spirit and got summoned by someone like me because that's the way he is. I see. He didn't look like it, but he was a fine knight. But don't get me wrong. If the Holy Grail will truly grant any wish, permanent world peace is the worst wish ever. It means there's nothing, right? A world without conflict is dead. If things aren't moving, all they do is rot. Huh. Did you say that to Archer as well? I did, and he said, that is how the wise think. I feel the same way, but I am still chasing a foolish dream. Well, I asked him if he had any other wishes, but he said something like, I do, but it is not a wish to use the Holy Grail on. I shall let you grant your wish in my place. He was so snobbish, right? I bet he was a skirt chaser when he was alive. I didn't get that impression of him. So what about it? Nothing. I just meant that there are all different kinds of servants. Oh, I see. Well, I think it's a good reference, so it did help me out a bit. Well, then, now it's my turn. I'm going to talk about Saber as well, though. Oh yeah. You were saying this morning that you wanted to talk to me about something. Yeah, it's nothing big, but I'm just wondering about it. Do you know the legend of King Arthur? The legend of King Arthur. I've had it forced upon me more than enough in the past few days. I know what most people do. Well, I didn't know that King Arthur was actually a girl. Yeah, but sex doesn't matter here. Even if King Arthur was a girl, it makes no difference to the legend. If King Arthur hid that fact from everyone around her, she would be treated as a man even if she wasn't one. Even if she wasn't one. Fortunately, King Arthur had a magus called Merlin. He was a crossbreed with an incubus, so it must have been a piece of cake for him to disguise King Arthur's sex or to arrange for a child that should never have been born. Wait, what? Merlin was to crossbreed with an incubus? Ooh la la. For those who don't know, an incubus is like a succubus, but male. I bet. So, what concerns me is the discrepancy between the legend and Saber. Emiya-kun, do you know what Excalibur is? Why ask now? Excalibur is the symbol of King Arthur. It's a great sword, a gift from the fairies that can cut through anything. That's what I thought. For some reason, Tosaka acts like she's won. Did I say something strange? You did. And that means you made the same mistake as King Arthur. If Merlin was here, he'd yell at you for being foolish. Oh no, that's swapped. That's Rin saying that last paragraph there. Why? The sword in the stone wasn't Excalibur, right? That sword broke. He later received a sword from the Lady of the Lake, and that was Excalibur, right? Yep. When King Arthur received Excalibur, Merlin asked this question. Your Highness, which do you like better? The sword or the sheath? King Arthur answers without hesitation that he likes the sword, but Merlin scolds him. Please make no mistake here. The sword slashes the enemy, but the sheath protects you. As long as you have the sheath on you, you will spill no blood and take no wounds. You should truly value the sheath, not the sword. Tosaka imitates King Arthur and Merlin skillfully. Huh, you're pretty into this. So, what are you trying to say? You don't understand when I've told you this much? In other words, King Arthur is immortal. Excalibur is a perfect noble phantasm, both in offense and defense. So really, Saber should heal right away even if she gets hurt. Tosaka, Saber's wounds have all been healing. That's true, but it seems like her healing comes from using a great amount of magical energy. Anyways, it doesn't seem to match the sheath of Excalibur in the legend. I see. Well, if you say so, then I have a question. You say King Arthur is immortal, so then how did he die? The legend ends with King Arthur's death, right? Huh? Tosaka opens her mouth, dumbfounded. After freezing for a few seconds, she grits her teeth and looks away. That's right. The sheath of Excalibur was stolen. Yeah, that's a simple mistake. I forgot about it too, but the fall of King Arthur started when he lost the sheath he should never have lost. So, are you convinced now, Tosaka? Yeah, you can laugh at me if you want. she's lying. I can tell she intends to axe kick me if I laugh. It's fine if you understand, but why were you worried about it? It should be no concern of yours whether Saber can get hurt or not. Shut up! I just lost myself thinking she'd be invincible if that was the case. Even I make mistakes once in a while. This is hard. Would it be good for her if I correct her and point out that she makes mistakes often, not just once in a while? Fear the axe kick, man. So, Saber is probably using Caliburn at the moment. Excalibur was the sword that Shirou managed to conjure in the forest against Berserker. That's the actual sword of the king, or, well, an image of it projected. And for that matter, Caliburn's sheath must be just Caliburn's sheath. It's not the sheath of Excalibur. So, the reality of it is, Saber isn't using anywhere close to the correct equipment. But then, why would that be? When a servant is summoned, their noble phantasm becomes an intrinsic part of their being. It comes along with them. It's a package deal. So if Saber came into being with the wrong equipment, the fault must lie with her way of thinking at that time? I'm not quite sure if I'm getting the right read on this, but that's how I'm interpreting this. Huh. Well, at any rate, this all belies the question of, how can this problem possibly be fixed? By the time the sun sets, the rain has stopped. Based on our conversation during breakfast, we should be going out into town to search for other masters after dinner, but I have to find out before that. Saber's intentions. I need to know why she is fighting. But I can't ask her straight on. I have to try to ask her as indirectly as possible. Why not? I make my mind up and stand up. Let's go to the living room. I hope I'll be able to penetrate the fortress using the calm before dinner air as a shield. Just hypothetically, what should we do if we win the Holy Grail War? So, since I couldn't come up with any good ideas, I asked her directly. Huh? Huh? They all give the same response with different expressions. I'm talking about after we win. I'm saying, what should we do if we win the Holy Grail War? You don't need to explain the question, but what's wrong? Why are you asking? Even though they don't nod, it seems like Saber and Ilya have the same question. I guess it was unnatural to abruptly ask. But I have to play ignorant for now. Well, it just came to mind. There are only 3 servants left, so it's not that weird to start thinking about it, right? There's not much left now, and the end is near. Well, you're right. Even you'll start thinking about it in this situation. Even though you didn't start this because you wanted to, I bet you're curious about the reward since you're risking your life. Yeah, I'm curious. Thank God Tosaka likes to reason things out. I think one of Tosaka's good aspects is to consider anything as a possibility if it sounds reasonable. Well, just in this case, though. So, how about you, Tosaka? What will you do if you get the Holy Grail? I ask as naturally as I can. Let's see. I only really thought about winning, so there's nothing I wanted the Holy Grail to grant. I'll get it, but I haven't thought about anything after that. I remember this from the prologue. Yeah, it's the same as always. So she's fighting because she doesn't want to lose, huh? Well, I guessed so, but I never really thought I'd be right. Huh. I'm stunned. You seem to be the one thinking the most, but you're actually the one who thinks the least. Heh, you're one to talk. Then what about you, Ilyasville? I don't know. I was just told that the Holy Grail is mine, so I shouldn't give it to anyone. Since it's mine to begin with, of course I don't care about it. Wow. Oh, so you're saying the Holy Grail War is more fun than the Holy Grail? Of course. I only came to win. I don't care who uses the Holy Grail. Are they the same? The two glare at each other silently, and there seems to be a sympathy I can't understand. Saber doesn't say anything. She must not intend to join the conversation. But no matter how much Saber hates it, I must ask her this question now. I kind of understand you two's intentions. I try to nod naturally and... Then how about you, Saber? I ask Saber. Saber doesn't answer. They must have realized Saber's acting in a complicated manner as they both stare at her. If I'm counting, there must be about a minute's silence. I do not need to say this, but it is my duty to obtain the Holy Grail. I do not know how powerful the Holy Grail is, but as long as it is the Holy Grail, I must obtain it. And of course, I would have my wish granted if it can grant it. She said it. Without a doubt, Saber said she has her own wish. I see. Then what's your wish? I restrain my pounding heart and ask calmly. Saber doesn't answer. That's fine too. If she cannot answer, chances are good that her wish is a selfish one. Considering Saber's personality, she would hesitate to speak of a selfish wish. So, I would prefer if she keep quiet and not tell me a ridiculous wish. Such whining fills my head. Is it that hard? Grandfather said the wish of a servant is to be resurrected into this world. Those servants seek the Holy Grail to live a second life. Isn't that the case for you, Saber? Wow, that's actually really on the point. I was talking about that just a few moments ago. Huh. I raise my head at her words. There is no problem if that's Saber's wish. But... no, I have no interest in a second life. My goal is only to obtain the Holy Grail. I became a servant as a price to obtain the Holy Grail. Well, I know that the Holy Grail is like the source material for the existence of a Holy Grail. That's kind of the part of Arthurian myth. I wonder if obtaining it is really all that she wants. I knew that had to be it. I knew the girl who took that oath pulling out the sword would not seek a second life. Ooh. Ooh, this music, it's like a remix.
Hold on. You became a servant in exchange for obtaining the Holy Grail? You mean the contract when you became a heroic spirit? Yes. In exchange for becoming a servant, I seek the Holy Grail. What? Then you're not a servant summoned to obtain the Holy Grail, but you became a servant by your own will?
Wait, what? She must be really surprised that she yells at this, then tilts her head, not believing her own words. So, Saber wasn't summoned because she was a heroic spirit, but she joined this battle willingly?
But as long as you're a servant, you're respected as a heroic spirit, so you can't interfere with this world deliberately. Then you're well beyond the servant's rule. No, that's not right. Geez, hold on. I'll work this out. No, you do not need to do so. What you said is correct. I am different from the other servants.
Whoa.
I have yet to become a complete servant.
Say what now?
Not a complete servant? What does that mean?
No, more importantly,
What does it mean to become a servant?
Saber said she agreed to become a servant as a price for obtaining the Holy Grail. Wait, is it some sort of bargain? Did she strike some sort of bargain with some sort of cosmic entity, like the Holy Grail itself, to participate in the war for the chance of getting the Holy Grail, but in exchange, once that condition was fulfilled, King Arthur would become a servant, a heroic spirit that could be called on in the future?
What?
Then that means... Hold on. Could it be that the servants are forced to fight as the price for obtaining something?
No, that is wrong. From the very beginning, servants are special familiars that exist only for the Holy Grail War. Servant is summoning magic that uses the special characteristics of the heroic spirits. They were originally heroic spirits, so they do not have any rules like, I was given bread, so I have to work. Yeah, the servant system uses heroic spirits, guardian spirits. They're using something that already exists, so there is no price for the masters or the servants to pay.
Well, shoot, there goes my theory. Then I don't know.
But I've heard that before they become a servant, they need to pay a price to become a heroic spirit. Heroic spirits are guardians of the people, right? It's like they work for people even after they die to prevent the destruction of humanity, and so on. So, to become this guardian, a living hero must make a contract with something. This is the contract of the heroic spirits, a ritual to give their existence to the world after they die.
Wait, so... it can't be anything mythological? Like, every heroic spirit has to have been a living person first? Wait. I'm confused.
The ones who obtain riches from the exchange become heroes, and after they do whatever they want to as heroes and die, they become servants to pay for these riches. So in other words, they go into debt and become a hero, and repay the debt when they die by becoming a heroic spirit.
Oh. I see.
We summon servants by stealing the debt liability from the world.
So humans become heroes by contracting with something, and they're summoned as heroic spirits after they die to pay for becoming a hero, then the conditions of the exchange that Saber made is the Holy Grail. As Saber obtained the Holy Grail in her life, she became a heroic spirit after she died as a price. That's not right. Saber says her objective is to obtain the Holy Grail, but she should have already obtained it because she became a hero in exchange for the Holy Grail. Oh my god, is Saber's price... No, not her price. Is Saber's wish to fully repay her debt and be able to pass on to the afterlife? Does the heroic spirit of King Arthur want to vanish? Oh, if that's the case, Shirou's not gonna like that. No, Shirou. I have not yet obtained the Holy Grail. Arturia, King Arthur's wish, was to obtain the Holy Grail while she lived. I had to obtain the Holy Grail before I died. So I agreed that I would become a heroic spirit after I died if I could obtain the Holy Grail. As Rin said, humans make a contract with the world to become a hero, receive powers beyond human, and pay for it with life after death. But I did not need the help of the world to become a hero. Fortunately, King Arthur needed no support to become a hero. She didn't need support to become a hero. So Saber became a hero by her own powers. But you're here as a heroic spirit. Does that mean King Arthur requested a different exchange from the world after he became a hero? Yes, I needed the Holy Grail in my final moments. I could not stand not having the Holy Grail. A wish appeared that I needed to have granted. That is why I made the contract of the heroic spirits. That if I could obtain the Holy Grail, I would wield my sword as a heroic spirit after my death. In her last moment, she wished for the Holy Grail's miracle. I understand how she feels. That bloody hill, a grave of many swords and the many corpses of knights. A lone king whose reign ended in betrayal. Her last moment was too unfair. Even if she had no wish of her own before then, she must have thought that I can't die here. I didn't want to end like this. So, if she wishes to prolong her life, she shouldn't be embarrassed about it. So King Arthur did die with regrets, huh? I see. So you became able to obtain the Holy Grail by selling yourself off after death. But, Saber, your condition was to obtain the Holy Grail while you were alive, right? Then... Yes, I could not complete my search for the Holy Grail while I was alive. I, King Arthur, could not obtain the Holy Grail even at the very end. But the contract cannot be completed like that. For the world to obtain me as a servant, it must grant the Holy Grail while King Arthur is alive. Isn't this paradoxical? Saber wants the Holy Grail to grant the wish of her past life as King Arthur to be able to make the contract with the world and then become a heroic spirit so that Saber can make the... Wait. Good lord, is this a closed time loop? Is this a time loop?
So, King Arthur will not die until she obtains the Holy Grail. No, King Arthur cannot die. Then you're... Yes, time stopped for me, King Arthur, at the moment of death. According to the timeline, I should be already dead, but it will not be able to fulfill the contract that way. King Arthur is summoned as a servant and must die after she obtains a...
Or there's a way simpler explanation. And does that mean Saber is literally King Arthur? Like the actual person? Oh!
So time itself isn't stopped, but you're stopped in time, huh? It doesn't matter how many times you repeated the fight as a servant, because the result of obtaining the Holy Grail and fulfilling your contract is determined, so... That is correct. Eventually, I will obtain the Holy Grail and fulfill the contract. That is why I can be summoned into many ages before I become a heroic spirit, on the condition that my becoming a heroic spirit is already determined.
Okay, maybe not.
Okay.
I need a graph. I need a chart.
Not only the Holy Grail in this town. If there is a chance to obtain the Holy Grail, I will be summoned to any battlefield. And when I eventually obtain the Holy Grail and grant my wish, my stopped time shall start moving again. King Arthur will face death and become a heroic spirit as a price for obtaining the Holy Grail.
Okay, so it's more like King Arthur, the living human who was really real, was dying on the battlefield. Then time stopped. Arthur made a contract with the world. Time stopped. King Arthur's soul was cast forward into time to be summoned forth to any battle that could lead to obtaining the Holy Grail. And once a Saber here gets the Holy Grail, their soul will return to King Arthur, and then King Arthur will die. But because King Arthur is already dead, historically speaking, this means that it's already cemented as a fact that Saber will eventually succeed. She is fated to get the Holy Grail. It's just a matter of when. I think that's it. I think that's an actual explanation. If so, holy shit, that's cool!
So it's like having a dream you can't wake up from right before your death, huh? This Holy Grail War is just one of those dreams for Saber. And you'll only be able to wake up when you obtain the Holy Grail. Rin, you said that Shirou could not turn me into a spirit form because he is inexperienced. But that is wrong. I cannot become a spirit because I have not died yet. I am handled differently, but I am still classified as a living being. It was the same in the last Holy Grail War.
Saber says so, as if she's apologizing. I guess because she was lying about being stuck in physical form because I was inexperienced. I don't really care about that. There's something more important that I have to ask her. Saber, what do you mean by you're not dead yet? I understand that you won't die until you obtain the Holy Grail. From the conversation, I understand that you haven't been alive since the time of King Arthur. But then, what are you right now? You're not a copy of the real body, right?
No. Heroic spirits that are summoned are like copies of the true body, but I have not yet reached that rank. Until I obtain the Holy Grail, I am called in the form of myself about to die.
Right, so... Yeah, so like, the Holy Grail kind of like creates vessels for the heroic spirits to slip into and wear as a suit. Heracles did not literally look like Berserker. The real actual Heracles they looked different. Same with Cuchulainn. Cuchulainn probably didn't have blue hair and didn't look like Kibishi. But it's different for Saber. Saber here is a one-to-one recreation of King Arthur.
As Rin said, King Arthur is stopped in the River of Time. I must jump forward or backward from that position and return to that stop point once I obtain the Holy Grail.
Ooh! Ooh! It's a chart! Oh, thank God. Okay. Oh. Battle of Camlin. Time axis, Arthur. Arthur dies. Right, so the Arthur just before the death leaps forward into time to different times where they'll be summoned. Saber was summoned at least once before in the previous war. Then they were summoned a second time to Shirou. And then Saber would be summoned potentially into the future as well. Okay. I see. It's pretty simple once I visualize it. King Arthur is stopped at the moment before death. The flow of time doesn't care that she's stopped. It keeps flowing, and we're at the present. She jumps to each time as needed and returns to her own time after completing her duty. If she obtains the Holy Grail in one of the times she visits, her time will flow again and she will die, just like the history we know today. Cool. Then, heroic spirits must exist like this. Yeah, that's straightforward, no loopy-loops. When they die, they are transferred to a place like a warehouse where time doesn't flow. And they are summoned into various ages and disappear without returning. Oh. So that must be what they mean by heroic spirits being a copy. Ah. I get it. Huh. So the real people, well, the real heroic spirits, just chill out in the warehouse, then the world goes Control-C and then Control-V's, pastes them into the real world to get summoned, and then when they vanish, then their copy just vanishes. So at that point I have to wonder, are the real deals chilling out in the warehouse even aware of just what's going on in the world? It's like a clone made from their DNA. The heroic spirit that has complete abilities and memories of when it was alive will appear in this world and learn many things. But it is useless. They have no way to return to the main body, but merely disappear. So no matter how many times they are summoned into the same age, there will be no inconsistencies in their memories. Right. So would this mean that Saber is the one and only heroic spirit who remembers that they fought in a previous war? Like, every single servant is a fresh slate, more or less. I assume the ones that became heroic spirits will not change anymore. Even if they obtain new knowledge, The self that learns it will just disappear once the duty is complete. In that regard, Saber isn't a complete servant. Because Saber returns to her own time even after she is summoned, to the self that is about to die on that bloody hill. Hold on. Then, what? You're going to take it back your time and use it if you obtain the Holy Grail? That's altering the past. Time itself and management of parallel universes is sorcery. There's no way you'll be able to do that. Huh. But the Holy Grail allows me to do this. I made a contract that I would become a servant if I can use the Holy Grail. The price being becoming a servant, even if it means the elimination of the person called Arturia. Saber talks without much interest. But that's strange. Making a wish come true using the Holy Grail, that's fine. But why did she say Arturia would disappear as a result? What are you talking about? Arturia will disappear when she uses the Holy Grail? Don't mess around. Saber, you're... That girl, about to die quietly, alone on that hill. Not going to use the Holy Grail to save yourself? No, what do you mean, Shirou? My only desire is to save my country from ruin. What? I can sense that my face is frozen. I should already have realized this, but my mind is spacing out and I feel like throwing up. Why? But still, I force my question out. It is obvious. I could not protect my country. I became king to protect the country, but I could not fulfill that duty. I thought at that time that perhaps the sword chose me by mistake. That's stupid. Why? No, I always had such doubts. That I might not be the right king. That there was another hero who should have been chosen. At that time, when I pulled the sword out, there must have been a suitable king who would have been able to save the country I could not. So, if I could redo the selection of the king using the power of the Holy Grail, then... Whoa! Then what? Does she mean to say that her country would not have been destroyed if she returned to that time? I feel faint. I'm quickly surpassing mere anger that Saber would seriously wish for such a thing. I guess I'm dumbfounded right now. It's only natural. Saber's wish is not for herself, and on top of that, it means her elimination. The girl in front of me exists because that holy sword was there, and because a king pulled it out. Preventing that would mean that the girl in front of me would not exist. Yeah, Saber would change the entire course of history. At the very least, she would make it so that Shirou and Saber would never meet. Let's say she grants her wish using the Holy Grail. The girl Arturia, never becoming king, would live out her days as a knight. But what about the Saber in front of me? As she is a heroic spirit, she will continue to be summoned to fight after her wish is granted. Since she paid a price to obtain the Holy Grail, Saber will continue to be, even if Arturia doesn't become king. Taken away from the future, and from the past. She will forever be the lonely king dying on that hill. Ridiculous. I can't allow that. There's no salvation there. Even if she did redo everything, and there really is a more appropriate king and her country lasts longer as a result, and even if she is saved, it's a lie. Even if everyone around her becomes happy, the 10 years she fought can't just disappear. No, you can't do that. You can't redo things, and it's useless to even try. Shirou? Don't use the Holy Grail for such a thing. You're going to obtain the Holy Grail by fighting yourself, right? So you should use that miracle for your own sake. As I have told you, I'll be using it for myself. I, Arturia, must fulfill her duty as king. So, why don't you understand? Don't be ridiculous. You've already fulfilled more than your duty. You fought that much already. You didn't give up even when you were betrayed or feared. You didn't let go of your sword until the very end on that hill. So why? Why do you have to keep such promises even after you die? Saber is astonished. Oh. It's too late to regret what I've said. I shouldn't have admitted that I see Saber's past in my dreams. A heavy silence. There are no words to give her, nor any words to reply. I can sense that anything I say will backfire in this situation. But still, I can't just stay silent. Saber, I don't like it when people aren't rewarded for their hard work. It's meaningless that way, and it's just too unfair. I know it's a childish ideal, but I want to believe that people will get happier the more they work for it. I won't lose to other masters. I'll obtain the Holy Grail for sure. So please, grant your own wish. If you do, I'll actually be able to find some meaning in this stupid war. That's the conclusion I've reached. I don't know what the Holy Grail is, nor if it's right to obtain it. But if Saber will be saved, even a little, I'll be able to try with all my powers. The loud bell rings out and the house falls into darkness. Oh, that's not good. A loud bell rings out? You don't think that's a boundary field alarm, do you? And also the power went out? Oh, no, that's not good. Saber is cool. I feel like now, at long last, I finally have a complete picture of just who Saber is as a person. And I think Saber is cool. Everything about her plot, with this bargain, this time loop, this trial after trial to try and get the Holy Grail just so she can die, that's cool. That's amazing, even. I really like this, as tragic as it is. Oh, man. Oh, man. I think more than anything, this cements the fact that the finale of the Fate route is gonna be something big. Ooh. Big dramas. Ooh. Well, anyway, I think there might be an intruder. So maybe we'll deal with that next time. For now, I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been yet more Fate-Stay Night. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. So until then, please take care.